Wow, what a crazy week. Last week, Friday, I posted a video. Last weekend before this weekend, Friday, I posted a video about my new Pallet Pals with the steel toes, and I made them available on my website. And I was expecting to sell a few of them, but the response that I got was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, guys. So incredible, in fact, I had to go out and purchase new equipment just to make it feasible to manufacture that many orders in a short period of time. Now, I've been out here in the shop all week long. I've put in 70 hours this week. It's Saturday morning, and I'm just putting the finishing details on some of this stuff, and they're going to get boxed up and shipped out. Well, it's Saturday, so I'll finish boxing today and tomorrow, and then ship out Monday. So those of you who had to wait for a week or so, I apologize. I just was not expecting that amount of interest. So they're all done and ready to go. Just a couple little details, box them up and get them out of here. I got an extra 12 now, and once they're gone, they're gone. I'm taking them down. It's a lot of work to make these things, and I need to take a break for a while from this. Maybe in another month or two, I'll post them again. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, for those of you who don't know what the Pallet Pal is, this is a little video of how they work. Okay, they're a pretty handy tool, and those of you that have ordered them, I'm sure you'll enjoy using them. They're really easy to use. But I thought maybe some of you who purchased one would like to see some of the process of how I actually put these things, or build these things, including the metal work and everything that goes into them. So here's a little video on that, guys, and I hope you enjoy it. And for all those of you who have ordered, thank you for your patience. They're on their way. Certainly appreciate it. And again, I've got 12 left. Once they're gone, they're gone. So if you want one, grab it now. Alright, once I have a bunch of blanks cut like this, what I need to do is drill a hole in each end to put them on my milling device to turn them. And because I have a lot of these to do, I didn't want to mark out center on each one and then drill a hole freehand. So I basically have this real inexpensive drill set up on its side with a slide here. And what that does is I just set it on there, and that gives me relative center. And I've got a little screw here that stops it in its position, so I can just do a bunch of them at a time. It takes a lot less time than trying to mark out and drill each center. So after I have all my holes drilled, I mount it on this homemade device or jig for the table saw, which turns at a rapid speed, and I run it through my dado bed. And to make things go faster, I have a helper, so I just load it and she runs it through for me. Not really. Alright, now with all the handles turned out, I need to cut them to their final dimension, and I do that all here at this one station, and this is what this process looks like. Okay, with all my holes drilled, the next step is sanding. And I bought this, this is a Grizzly dual sander. It's got an inflatable drum sander over here and a flap wheel on this side. And I did a little video on how to load your flap sanders easily. And somebody mentioned, hey, it's backwards. They're right, it is backwards. I run mine backwards. It's easier for dust control. I mount dust collection back here on both sides. And I like the piece being, when I'm sanding it, I like the piece being pulled away from me rather than pushed towards me. And I know some guys will sand up underneath here when it's running in the forward motion, and that gets to be really taxing on your back. Up here it's nice and easy, and the only thing you really got to watch for is you don't want to get your fingers pulled into this drum sander over here. You can get knuckled. So anyway, this is the new tool for getting all the sanding done quickly. Let me show you how this works. all the tails are made, all the handles are made, and I've got the steel in house, and I had to pick up a new saw to cut the steel because I got a lot of steel to cut. But now I'm going to put the finish on these handles using my super secret outdoor finish. And basically the way this works is just you brush it on real thick and let it sit for about 10 minutes and then wipe off the excess. And then after that coat dries, you put a secondary coat on just with a thin coat and wipe it on with a rag, and that does a really nice job of protecting this material. Alright, to save a little time, I'm not going to show the entire process. I got my steel in 12-foot lengths, and then I cut them to the length I needed for each individual toe. And then using my new fancy-dancy Milwaukee 14-inch cold-cut metal chop box, which actually uses metal blades to cut metal, and it's very effective, cuts it nice and clean. The cut is cold after you cut it, it's not hot to the touch. But I built this little jig to cut all those little, the really sharp angles, and did a great job. The blades are a bit expensive, and I went through a few, but it was definitely worth it. Made a short work of what ended up being a lot of cutting. From there I took it over to my drill press that I have sitting on its side and put a die grinder bit in it and just ground off all the little tiny burr that was left and some of the sharper inside edges. And I actually did a pretty good job. And then I've made a disc sander out of an old fruit juicer to sand off all the flat parts and any little burr that was left, and then rounded over the really sharp edges there on the nose of the toes there, and then from there went back over to the grizzly and sanded off any of the sharp edges on the outside. So from there I just stacked a whole bunch of them on these little trays I made, and then I primed them, and then after they dried I painted them. And here's about half the batch I did. Here's just a little overview shot, and the ones on the end are ready for primer. And then I had about the same amount to do after these were all ready to go. It's been a wild and crazy week. That gives you a little bit of idea of the amount of work that went into these. So again, thank you for everybody who placed your orders. If you want one, grab one quick. And then we're going to get back to our normal craziness here. Appreciate you guys' patience with this. So logarithmic spirals coming up, and how to get your neighbors to do some of your housework with using woodworking. No, seriously. So we got a lot of fun stuff planned. Anyway, thanks again, guys, and we'll talk to you real soon. We have a winner for the new name for the Pallet Pal. We also have 2 charities that we're sending Pallet Pals to, and we'll talk about that on Monday when I do the update video. So be sure to tune in, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.